influence of Russia and China in the region. The latest deployment is about 600 U.S. military service members. Their purpose, according to military.com, will be to construct community centers and a women's shelter. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. Here comes Skynet. Earlier this year, in May, it was reported by The Intercept that the EU had been working with member states to help roll out a system called RoBorder that would employ swarms of autonomous drones to patrol air, land, and sea for border violations. The specifics were laid out in a midterm review and progress report. The Intercept reported that the EU program might be violating the terms of funding due to references made to potential military applications, as well as other ethical concerns about the tech being used in the private sector and getting into the wrong hands. Nevertheless, it appears the United States has its own plans for drone swarms at its borders. Defense One reports the Customs and Border Protection Agency is getting ready to test drones that can provide situational awareness for agents working between ports of entry. With deforestation finally being recognized as a serious environmental issue internationally, efforts are underway across the world to help reverse the disastrous trend. The Mind Unleashed reports that officials in Ireland recently pledged to plant 22 million trees every year in the country over the next 20 years, with a target goal of 440 million trees by the time the campaign ends. The plan, which was announced in June, calls for 19,768 acres of new woodlands to be planted every year. A Department of Communications Climate Action and Environment spokeswoman said that many of the logistics of the operation will be handled by the country's Department of Agriculture. However, the success of the plan will depend on the cooperation of landholders throughout the country, who the government hopes will be eager to sell their land, or at the very least allow planting to take place on their property. The goal seems tangible. In fact, it was reported by the Scotsman that 22 million new trees were planted in the country last year. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Following reports that local full-blown alcoholic Ken Matheson has such great friends that let him drink himself to death right before their eyes, the 32-year-old man spoke to reporters during a typical evening of binging with his closest friends.
Man, these guys are like brothers to me. I don't know what I'd do without them.
The chemically dependent man, who can reportedly always count on his friends to look the other way, facilitate belligerent behavior, and encourage his self-destructive impulses, informed reporters that the members of his tight-knit circle are, quote, the best buddies a guy could ask for.
Can you just shut the f*** up? Seriously. Just shut the f*** up. I lost them. Back down. Keep going. What the f*** are you looking at? I love you, man. I love you.
Check this week's Onion Review for further developments.
I love you. Oh, God, I love everybody.
This is the Onion News Network.
It is Free Talk Live, and you are free to call in and talk live here on the airwaves. That's what we do on Free Talk Live. I'll give you the number here shortly. It's Mark with you.
Jay. And Michael.
Michael, sitting in for Angie. You are for very good reason, right?
I am.
Yeah, you're her husband.
I am doing that, yes.
And you've got a story you brought in for us to sort of speaks to your speciality, which is kind of, roving computer repair guy.
Yeah, I'm a computer guy, 24/7 PC guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, this story comes from Microsoft.com. Online scammers cost time and money. Here's how to fight back.
So, I think everybody's dealing with either people calling them or, trying to reach out to them either through email or Facebook. And it's all over the place. I hear there's MILFs in my area.
It's very possible.
Yeah.
I'm not sure you need someone to call you for that, though.
No.
There's websites for it.
Yeah, well, I'll bet there's not.
So a message pops up on your screen. It screams that your computer is at risk or has been infected by a virus. Or you receive a phone call from someone claiming to be from tech support.
Or that they've got my car warranties run out, or a whole variety of things.
Yeah, they're AppleCare, they're Microsoft, some other thing to steal money from you.
When I had the F-250, I used to love to tell them, oh, yeah, my warranties run out. I'd love to get that. Yeah, it's a 2002... It was an F-350, wasn't it, Jay?
Yep, that's right.
F-350, rusted out. I'd love to get it some body repair. Can I get a warranty on this? So they hang up on me.
I used to tease them, too. I'd be like, yeah, my truck's got 400,000 miles on it. So if I bring it down to my buddy Joe and, he's going to replace the motor and engine and stuff on it, what's it take for you guys to send him a check? And they're like, well... You have to use our certified. I go, oh, so this is kind of like buying healthcare I really can't use, right?
Yeah. They really don't want to help you.
And then before you know it, responding to these warnings has delivered your passwords and personal information to the scammers.
How do they get your passwords and personal information? I mean, what do they do? Put a keylogger or something on?
There's a couple different ways. Keyloggers would make the most sense to us, but actually, I've seen them request that the customer bring up, they bring up like a notepad, and the customer will type the password in plain text onto the screen. So as the scammers remote it into their computer, they can see it.
Okay. So how do people fall for typing your password into a notepad? I mean, they can see the notepad, surely, right?
They can. My experience has been most of the people that fall for this are older.
Okay.
They're very nice, but they're gullible.
Yeah, sure. They just don't get it.
And the scammer can say, yes, I need you to type this password here for, I may need it later to make sure the password wasn't compromised some other place.
Gotcha.
At this point, once they're remoted into their computer, they kind of have them, and they're pretty vulnerable.
Is there any circumstance ever in your life that somebody is going to legitimately ask you for your password? I mean, I guess your wife might want to have it, but I mean,
Maybe
other than
wife.
that,
no.
So other than an extraordinarily close family member, and I don't recommend that, that nobody, Microsoft, Apple, the United States government, Jesus Christ, nobody's going to call you and say, I need your password, right?
Oh, they're going to call you and say they need your password,
right.
But a legitimate call, no.
Okay. But there probably aren't those. Microsoft is probably not going to ask you for your password, nor is, I mean, even the U.S. government. Nobody's going to ask you for your password.
Microsoft is not calling you.
A couple of years ago, I got phished using purse.io.
Okay.
And what had happened is somebody sends me an email via like Purse, or was a Purse notification. It might have been notification right within Purse. And I think it was in the Purse chat, and now you can't like put like websites or any kind of links or anything like that in the Purse communication chat. And Purse is the thing you use Bitcoin or Bitcoin Cash to buy things at a discount on Amazon.
Right. It's saveatpurse.com is the website. That's SAVAT. Save at Purse, SAVEAT. Saveatpurse.com.
So, anyways, I had bought several things using Purse, all kinds of stuff, and this was like 4 years ago. This happened to me, and I had basically a transaction that the guy was sending it to me, and he sends me a message saying, "Oh, confirm that everything is correct on this transaction," or something like that. So I clicked on it, and it brought me up to what looked just like the Purse page, and it asked me for my password. and I foolishly put it in there.
Right.
And I had like, I don't know, 0.85 Bitcoin in there, which is like $8,000 today. Bitcoin was like $600 when this happened.
Not a whole lot then, but lots now.
It's just a fact that it was a valuable lesson that I paid a small price for.
Yeah.
Basically. But anytime like any of these things like that you're logging into, especially if it's anything to do with cryptocurrency, asks you to like log in again or do the password again, like on your computer, I stop, because like I'm not like a really good with computers. I don't understand them like Michael does, and and Ian and stuff. But I stop. So and I just and even like I'm so careful that if like a website wants me to, the only way I can log in is like through Facebook or like Gmail or Google something. I don't even deal with it. I won't even go to those websites, just because I don't want any of my stuff getting stolen.
Sure. Michael, what do you do if you're wondering whether you should put your email into someplace? I mean, obviously you have to put these your email and password into something. Obviously you have to do that sometime on the computer.
Yeah, only put it into a place where you want to be.
So you have to look at the URL, double check the URL kind of thing?
It requires a lot from the customer or, the user.
Yeah.
Sometimes in your browser, there's a little green lock that should show just to the left of the address bar. And the address bar is the thing that has the long numbers and letters where you actually are online.
Do all browsers have this lock?
Most that I know of do. Chrome, Firefox, and Brave certainly have it. I imagine Edge has something like that too, but I wouldn't use Microsoft browser for anything.
Okay.
Not very secure.
Yeah, so going back to the purse thing where I lost that money, that cryptocurrency via getting phished via purse, I went back and I looked at the actual page that I went to. It said purse dot. It did not say IO. It said something. I'm not even going to say what it said, but it did not say IO. It said something else.
Yeah.
So it was a scam that was set up.
Yeah. That's what they do.
So in continuing with the article, a new Microsoft survey of 16 countries released this month focused on tech support scams and their impact on consumers show less people are now susceptible to these scams, and the percentage of respondents who've been exposed to them decreasing. Overall,
so people are learning hard lessons.
Well, losing money is, as Jay was just lamenting, that's the best way to learn.
I just hope that Nigerian prince gets his throne back. I mean, it's important to me.
I bet they all will get their throne.
Well, this has happened recently. A friend of mine who operates a Bitcoin machine was telling me that some lady, older woman, came there to buy Bitcoin and was asking him how, and he's like, "Oh, what are you buying it for?" He goes, "Oh, I'm just going to send it to my boyfriend in Africa."
Ruh-roh.
And he's like, "That's not your boyfriend. It's not your internet boyfriend. This is a scam." And he was like, I really don't want to help you facilitate this transaction because it's a scam. And she was convinced it's not. But, just like the Filipino girls got, 4 or 5 dudes, maybe 10 dudes, as they do for a career, that are, sending them, $50 a month or something.
A few bucks here and there.
Yeah, same thing. Probably.
Now she's in love, so good luck trying to convince her otherwise that she's wrong.
Yeah, good luck.
So
I can see why some people choose not to sell cryptocurrencies to people that are in that situation, but ultimately they're going to find some way to get it anyway.
Yeah.
In all likelihood.
So if faced with an unsolicited contact from a reputable tech company, 38% of consumers would try to block that company from making contact in the future, and 33% would look up the issue online. 46% of consumers rely on search engines to research tech support scams, and 31% use company websites.
Yeah, those are some of the best things that you can do in that circumstance. The number 855-450-3733. Tell me about the online scams you've dealt with. 855-450-FREE is in Free Talk Live.
You're not a wild animal, and you shouldn't be tagged and tracked like one. Where you go and what you do every minute of the day, tracked and recorded by your mobile phone, is often more revealing than your browser history. And tech companies make a fortune selling your location history without your consent. GoDark bags prevent location tracking and protect your privacy by instantly blocking all cell phone, GPS, and Wi-Fi signals to your mobile device. Plus, they're durable, water-resistant, and built for a lifetime of protection. Visit GoDarkbags.com/FTL. That's GoDarkbags.com/FTL.
I Ike was such a sweet, lovable animal, and people would want to pet him, and they'd come up and they'd get close to him, and it would be this instant, oh! My dad didn't want to touch him. It's like, ooh, get the stinky dog away from me.
Even after we'd give her a bath, she would still stink.
Very stinky, both bad breath and bad gas. I asked the vet, and he said some dogs are just stinky.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
The omega-3 fatty acids.
Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa, the digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food.
The ingredients convinced me that it was definitely worth trying. After about a week, he started smelling normal. My husband and I were really kind of astonished.
Dinovite is nutrition.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at mark@freetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. mark@freetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Saying that he has no idea what to make of the mixed signals, area man Pete Summers told reporters today he keeps getting ambiguous text messages from local woman Haley Mueller, claiming that she's not at all interested in him.
One minute she's like, I don't want to go out with you. And then she'll mention how she has to go hang out with her boyfriend. I mean, what am I supposed to do with that?
Summers, who first met Mueller at a friend's party last month, informed reporters that the 27-year-old's increasingly perplexing text messages have left him unable to ascertain whether or not she would want to date him. He also noted that Mueller's behavior at social gatherings was equally vague.
Last weekend, we were at a party, and every time I would go up to her, she just said, leave me alone. Then I text her the next day, and she totally doesn't even respond. I mean, she just needs to make up her mind and tell me what she wants. She hasn't answered my last 3 phone calls, so maybe I should go over there and make sure everything's okay.
This is the Onion News Network.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Call in, talk about whatever you want. Specifically, though, we're talking about online scams and, how to avoid them. It's an issue, and it affects, I think, probably everybody at some level or another has been caught to some extent. I'm not saying that you lost everything in a bank account or whatever, but there's been times back in the early days of Bitcoin, I got. There was a website called mybitcoinwallet.com, and I let them have all the Bitcoins I had. Now, remember, Bitcoins at the time that I put them in there were worth like a quarter. Now, I mean a quarter of $1.
Right.
And I put like $45 or something, $10 worth. That's what Gavin Andreessen, the head developer of Bitcoin, had paid me for a lunch or whatever. And I think I might have bought some more. Maybe it was before that or after that. I don't even know. I put them in there, and that wasn't an online bank. That was just somebody else's Bitcoin wallet.
Somebody else's bank.
Yeah.
Well, my brother lost some Bitcoin at Mt. Gox.
Yeah.
Which was, supposed to be an online bank.
Right, basically. Yeah, Mt. Gox failed and fell through. If you want to find out about all the latest news concerning cryptocurrency and Bitcoin Cash and, this kind of thing, you go to Bitcoin.com. They've got a great website, especially for the beginner. If you go there, you can just how to get started, or getting started, I believe is what it is. It's right there at the top. You can watch the videos and find out what is this. And then as you figure it out and you learn more, you can go there, you can buy Bitcoin, you can get a Bitcoin wallet. They've got whatever it is that you need at Bitcoin.com. As a matter of fact, they've got new and interesting ways for you to acquire Bitcoin. You can buy Bitcoin with a credit card. I was just telling somebody that today at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
That Bitcoin.com website, I've recommended it now probably to about 30 people. At least 10 of them have used it because, people just don't really, listen to your recommendations. But in my business, I give people a steep discount for cryptocurrency versus paying me cash. And whether it's snow plowing or, property maintenance or whatever I do.
Delivering hay.
Or delivering hay. And so the people who have actually gone through, checked out Bitcoin.com, usually what it is, I get a text message a day or two later. I bought some Bitcoin Cash. What's your Bitcoin address? I want to go ahead with the job. I've never had anybody call me up and be like, how do I set this up? What do I do? So that tells, and these are like people who, they have smartphones. Some of them got skills. Some of them just, one guy was like
just people who want to buy hay.
One guy was like 60 years old, and he needed to buy hay for his wife's horses. And 2 days later, he's wanting my address. So yeah, Bitcoin.com is really good for just getting people through it.
It works.
Yeah,
website's pretty.
So let's go on with these scams that Microsoft is talking about. I'm sure they're talking about their own solutions.
Yes, they want you to buy Windows to fix it.
Well, yeah.
People are still losing money and time. 3 out of 5 consumers have been exposed to a tech support scam in the previous 12 months. And 1 out of 5 consumers were tricked into continued engagement with scammers, often leading to victims losing hundreds of dollars to these fraudsters.
Have you ever gotten a call from the IRS that says that your Social Security number is going to be suspended?
I got one the other day. I don't even have a Social Security number.
I'm like, that's so awesome. How do I get my wife's Social Security number suspended? I'll talk to these, they're foreign sounding folks right away. They have no idea what they're talking. Like they're confused when they get a hold of somebody like me. Look, if somebody's told you your Social Security number has been suspended, ask them first, does that mean I get to stop paying taxes?
I don't think they'll have an answer.
And I've never heard of a Social Security number being suspended, so don't worry about it. Yeah, it's obvious scam.
Definitely the scams keep happening. I deal with this all the time with customers who have...
what happens?
Well,
tell me a story.
Someone called a customer of mine on Sunday and said that they were AppleCare.
Okay.
This customer has no Apple devices in their home, is not an iCloud subscriber. A fairly intelligent person. He's a machinist. He has a machinist in his garage. So the scam is pretty convincing, to get somebody like that. Yeah. Anyway, they give them a random link to go to, and before you know it, they have remote access to your computer, which means that they are in your computer. They can move your mouse around and see any files that may be on your computer.
Now, that you haven't lost yet, right?
Not yet. No.
Okay.
Where you start to lose is they begin to show you these problems that they've created. Like they'll delete all your files and send them to the recycle bin. All your stuff's still there, and that's going to be their fix. They just restore what's in the recycle bin. And then eventually they get you to give them a credit card to some extent, and that's where the problem starts.
Okay, so once you hook up with them through this link of theirs, it immediately throws all your stuff in your recycle bin kind of thing? Or
no, you allow them, the customer has to say, okay, I will allow you into my computer.
Okay.
There are prompts on the screen that say this. But a lot of people don't really read that stuff. They just click allow and okay and whatever.
Yeah, sure.
Make the pain stop.
Well, if somebody... if you think somebody's a remote fixer of computers, then sure, you're going to let them have access to your desktop. It's not like I've never allowed any one of these people on the phone to have access to my desktop.
It's very common.
Yep.
But unfortunate.
You probably
as
fix
it may
people's
be,
computers via remote access on their desktop.
I do. That's a high percentage of my business is doing things remotely. When I fix their computer after these sorts of things happen, I put a shortcut on their desktop so they can get connected with me very quickly.
Right.
And I always recommend if they ever get anything like this, call me first. If you think Apple's calling you and you think it's legitimate, hey, put them on hold and call Michael.
Mm-hmm.
I've had customers call me before, and then they conference us in with the guy on the phone, and that's an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
Should
I'll
record
bet.
those.
But, if you're using a credit card or something like that, usually there's not a lot of harm because the credit card companies will dump that pretty quick.
Okay. So what happens is they get access to your computer. They delete your files off of it, put it in their recycling bin, get you to pay them $400 or whatever. Then they restore them, and then once you realize that you've been ripped off, you can call the credit card company and say, "Hey."
If you realize,
yeah.
I've had customers who have continued relationships with these scammers for months.
Okay.
And then out of the blue, they get a call one day and tells them that, okay, well now your plan has run out. It's another $500.
Okay.
And that's when they call me.
Yeah.
$1,200 is about the highest I've had a customer report that they had problems with before the bells started going off and they realized maybe something was wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow,
well,
that's amazing.
Well, it doesn't surprise me. People they don't want to learn about computers. I don't. I want it to work.
Well, even like the city of Baltimore, they got hacked, their computer system.
Yep.
And they were holding it hostage. And to replace all the computers and do everything that needed to be done through the city contractors was millions and millions of dollars.
Sure.
$23 million. But these guys, all they wanted was like $50,000 in Bitcoin or some cryptocurrency. And they're like, no, we're not paying it. We need to support our contractors that supply our computers.
Yeah, our union contractors.
Ransomware.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was.
That's the new popular one.
It's funny that the people out of Malaysia don't give a darn whether they're holding Baltimore or you hostage. Either way, it doesn't matter to them.
Ransomware is pretty easy to protect against so long as you got decent backups, and then it's just an inconvenience. But being a government entity, no, it's no wonder they don't do a very good job of IT management.
The number, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733 here on Free Talk Live. Or you can use the Discord lines at discord.freetalklive.com. Takes a little bit of setup, but you sound a lot better. Free Talk Live.
Do you have a crypto wealth advisor or coach? If so, has your cryptocurrency advisor been investing in technology stocks for over 20 years? Have they left the corporate world and retired? Or are they still trying to make a weekly paycheck? Have they produced six-figure results for their customers in the past 30 days? And very importantly, are they a member of the Digital Currency Council? Seth Maniscalco is the founder of Crypto Wealth Coach and CryptoWealthCoach.com. Seth invested in his first Roth IRA at 19 years old while living abroad and has been investing in Wall Street and technology for over 20 years with experience in all the money markets. By comparison, so many of these so-called crypto gurus have barely been alive for 20 years. Seth has not only experienced personal success from his own investments in crypto, he has also helped his clients earn 6- and 7-figure incomes, including helping investors make over $750,000 in EOS in 90 days and 1,225% in only 5.5 months with Chainlink. Seth has help for the small do-it-yourself guy on up to crypto whales. Increase your wealth. Visit CryptoWealthCoach.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your get intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadati.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
A congressman recently revealed that legislation totaling 2,900 pages and involving more than $1 trillion was available to members of Congress for less than 48 hours to study and consider. That's over 60 pages of legislation per hour. Do you think anyone read the entire bill? I'm Jim Babka with DownsizeDC.org. Consider a proposal buried in a 3,200-page, $388 billion bill, which would have empowered committee chairmen or their agents to examine Americans' tax returns. When this horrible provision came to light, no one claimed to know how it got into the bill. One congressman questioned said, "I didn't write it, I didn't approve it, I wasn't even consulted." If your attorney represented you this way, he might be disbarred. But this is how Congress represents you every day. That's why DownsizeDC.org has created the Read the Bills Act. You can force Congress to read their bills before they pass them at DownsizeDC.org.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. We're live 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Well, live. We produce a new show for you 365 days a year. And generally, if it's between 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. Eastern Time, you can call in and talk here on Free Talk Live. That's what we do. That's what we try to make available for you. Sometimes we do traveling shows where we record ahead for the day, but that's just because we're traveling. I can't take calls at that point anyway. It's Mark with you.
Jay.
And Michael.
The number, 855-450-3733. We're talking about scams. Online scams, phone scams. It doesn't really matter because they're all out there just trying to get your money. And, they're not providing you a service for it. It stinks. It feels bad to get ripped off.
It feels terrible.
Yeah, it makes you feel dumb. And... obviously they're tricky enough to get people to do it. That's why they continue doing it.
It's working. I think they're preying on people's belief that most everybody is good-natured. And again, this happens to all the customers that I've dealt with are in their 60s or older.
Yep. Let me go tell you about Freedom's Phoenix. It's a liberty-oriented news aggregation site. I get lots of my show prep from Freedom's Phoenix. If you want the newest, freshest stories and perspectives on current events from those who value liberty, freedomsphoenix.com has it. Their daily dispatch is the best way to stay up to date on science, technology, historical findings, liberty news, government overspending, and the rise of the police state. Freedoms with an S, Phoenix.com. It's freedomsphoenix.com.
So it's a huge problem, says Doug Shadell, state director of AARP, formerly the American Association of Retired Persons.
Well, what is it now?
I have no idea.
Maybe it's just AARP.
This is the first I'm hearing about that.
Yeah.
Maybe something a little more politically correct.
I think you can join at like 50 or something. I don't know. What's the age for AARP? I can look that up while you're talking.
I think maybe their members were dying off, so they had to drop the age a little. So, who says the organization's fraud center receives thousands of calls every month from people targeted by scammers? When somebody calls them up and to tell them there's something wrong, they get anxious and may just follow instructions. A variety of things can happen. A robo-dialer might call, threaten to cut their service off, or warn them that someone is trying to hack them. Out of fear, they call back, or dial 1, and the next step is the scammer takes over their computer. It's a little more complicated than that, but it's if they got them hooked to that point, yeah, they're probably going to take over. The more benign scenario is the scammer tells them they'll take care of the virus for $300, and maybe that leads to recurring fees. Or they can download malware that infects their computers, going into personal address books, stealing logins and passwords.
I bet they do that if they can. If they've got that software, they're getting it.
I have not seen any that are that sharp.
Okay.
Like if I was going to do this, that's what I'd do. I'd have a package that, okay, once I'm in your computer, you download this thing from the internet, and boom, it would just send all this stuff on your machine, and you may never be able to get it off unless you completely do a reformat.
How would a computer program, besides just giving you a huge dump of information, gigs and gigs of information, how would it know what a password was, what it looked like, what a username was, and what it looked like?
I guess it would be programmed to look for those things.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not a programmer, but I'm sure it exists that you have a program that looks for specific things. You know, password management, like Google, for example, Google Chrome. Most people who don't have a password on their machine, you can plain text, and that means you can see everything without any sort of extra password. You can see in plain text all of your saved passwords.
Okay.
So if
that's bad,
if these people knew what they were doing, they would just go in, check for this particular thing, make a screenshot, and they'd have all they needed in just a minute or two. Unfortunately, they don't know any of that.
Fortunately, some do. Some will.
Shadell says AARP likes it when consumers call them to report scams before they have fallen for it. Once a person has lost money to a tech support scam, it's much harder to deal with. Microsoft has partnered with AARP since 2015 to build awareness around tech support scams and has developed a joint booklet encouraging AARP members to report these incidents.
Yeah, I think that, when it comes to scammers, a lot of them, there's some boiler rooms of scammers out there, but a lot of them are small-time operations and very difficult to find.
If I had to theorize on it, I'd say that you've got a couple people that sort of know what they're doing, and most of these calls are usually people from other countries that probably are doing this for very little money.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And they get one giant bonus if they get a fish hooked.
Yeah,
I don't know this for a fact, but that would be my guess.
Yeah, a lot of there's a story I've seen online of this lady who was an actress who was sort of playing up that I've got no money, I can't pay this. She was
broke,
playing it up to the guy on the other line, the scammer, and he finally breaks down. He's like, "Look, this is a scam. You do not do this."
It's all he could take for that day.
Right, and he just couldn't rip this poor lady off, talking about the baby and the whole deal. I'm not a single mother, whatever she's saying. And he's like, I gotta go. I can't do it.
I recommend when customers know, like I have people report this to me that know better, I say, hey, just keep them on the phone for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Like, better. They're not going to get any money from you, but they're going to get money from somebody. So if you don't have anything to do, sit down and have a chat with them. With any luck, they get enough of this every day to begin realizing that, hey, I should probably find a different line of work.
Yeah, I wonder. If there was somebody you could sort of turn them over to, that would be the best bet. I know that there's these robocalls, that there's an app out there that'll talk to the robocalls and just kind of keep it tied up, which is amusing. But
I hear that advertisement on Facebook on YouTube when I'm listening to some stuff, and I looked at it. It cost $5 a month to use the app, and I read a bunch of the reviews, and they were like 50-50 whether it was good or bad. So,
well, there's certainly a lot of YouTube people pranking these, or YouTubers pranking these scammers when they call in.
Yeah,
and it makes for pretty good entertainment.
I say leave it to the pros.
Jim Florentine, if you guys search him on the internet, he did Crank Yankers years ago. And that guy's hilarious, but it really isn't too often you get an actual human on the phone, I've noticed, with a lot of these, calls I get. Because anytime I get a human on the phone, I try to keep them there for a little while and have fun with them. But most times it's computers. And then it will say, oh, I'm a computer recorded voice, and I can understand what you're saying. Hi, my name's whatever.
That's the worst.
That's what I'm getting a lot of.
Wasting my time with a computer.
So the rest of this article is pretty much just them
fluff
telling
piece for Microsoft.
Yeah, they want you to buy more Windows, and that is not the way to fix it.
What you've had this happen to other of your customers. Can you give me some ideas of what occurs and what happens and how they get caught up in it?
So you get the phone call, which is probably the most obvious that something should be going wrong.
Yep.
Again, Microsoft and Apple are not calling you.
Right. The United States government is not calling you. Nobody's calling you.
Well, the IRS might be calling you, but I would treat them just like scammers.
Well, the IRS
scammers.
Yes.
The IRS you can set an appointment with to call them, and then you can look up their line on their number on the computer, and then you can call them back. So if there really is an issue with the IRS and they really are calling you, do not talk to the person that has called you. Say, hey, I'd like to set a time, and I'm going to call back the IRS number online, and then we can chit chat about this. But I'm not calling you. I'm not calling your number. I'm not doing any of that, because that's what scammers do. And at this point, you have not stepped above the level of scammer, as far as I'm concerned. The IRS are a bunch of scammers that are just demanding money from you. However, they're a different sort of scammer. They're scammers that are backed by the United States government.
True story.
Amen with guns.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to get that number for you, because I've been trying to call the IRS for at least a couple of months, and I just eventually hang up because I'm on hold forever.
Right. Well, I don't care whether I'm on hold or not. I call them, ring, ring. Oh, I'm on hold. Goodbye.
So the other ways I've seen these scams
they usually send letters, the IRS. That's what they like to do.
Is generally like advertisements. You'll be on a website. Recipe sites are the worst. And you'll get an ad that pops up and tells you that there's some crazy thing wrong with your machine.
Oh, yeah.
And you got to click on it. And that's where problems start.
Yeah, that is bad, because people think that it's some warning from their computer. It's just a pop-up ad. 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE here on Free Talk Live. Or you can use the Discord lines. Go to discord.freetalklive.com.
Fellow Patriots, my name is Todd Savage, founder of BlackRifleRealEstate.com. Like you, I was a prisoner of the alt-left sanctuary state until one day I chose to lead my family to freedom. Today we live on a sustainable 20-acre homestead where we shoot, hunt, garden, and homeschool our children without the tyranny of the nanny state looking over us. If you're ready to flee the city to the freedom of Idaho or Montana, our Black Rifle Real Estate team is here to help. Go to BlackRifleRealEstate.com. That's BlackRifleRealEstate.com.
I'm getting older and noticing that my body just doesn't work as well as it used to, so I like to keep fit as possible by hitting the gym a few times a week. Recently, I started having a nagging bicep pain, and it got so bad I couldn't even lift the weights. When I was complaining about it to a friend, he told me about Angioprim. He said chelation helps remove toxins, heavy metals, and cholesterol in veins and arteries that may cause blockages. You know, after just 1 week of taking Angioprim, the pain was gone, and now I'm back in the gym full strength. Scientific research proves the active ingredient in Angioprim has superior oral chelation action that helps promote cardiovascular health. So to learn more, go to angioprim.com. That's ANGIOPRIM.com, or talk to a trained consultant. Call Angioprim toll free at 877-882-7221. You'll feel better with more energy. Call 877-882-7221 or go to the website angioprim.com.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Don't you hate that feeling in the pit of your stomach when the police pull you over? Most people have no idea how to handle it properly, and they promptly get fed into the municipal fee-generating meat grinder. Or maybe you recall that feeling you get when you go to the mailbox and see one or more letters from the IRS. You get a sense of impending doom, don't you? So let me ask you, if you could learn how to use the law to beat the IRS, traffic tickets, almost any courtroom scenario, collectors, credit card debt, and even mortgage debt because of fraud perpetrated against you, would that be worth knowing about? Don't laugh. Investigate. Check out the life-changing benefits of the Lighthouse Law Club at their website, lighthouselaw.club. That's lighthouselaw.club. And while you're at it, visit the Lighthouse Law Club YouTube channel. You might be in for a pleasant surprise.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
My name is Jacob Hornberger. I'm president of the Future of Freedom Foundation, which Congressman Ron Paul awarded for having an outstanding freedom website. Write us at fff@fff.org, and we'll send you a free 3-month subscription to our monthly journal of libertarian essays and our booklet, Economic Liberty in the Constitution, which George Mason University economics professor Walter Williams praised in a recent column. That's fff@fff.org.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Call in, talk about whatever you want. We're telling some stories of scammers here and hopefully how you can avoid them in the future. They're prevalent and they've got lots of different systems. And if you've got anything that you want to share, the number is 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. Michael, oftentimes, I mean, you do this computer fixing scam thing. Do you have a website?
I do have a website.
What is it?
It's bad. I don't advertise it. 247pcguy.com.
247pcguy.com.
GUY.com.
Yeah. How else would it be spelled?
Well, sometimes guide sounds more like guide.
I got it.
That's my mush mouth creeping in.
Right. Well, you are from North Carolina, so we'll have to forgive you.
Yeah.
So I've got a story here that I think is a completely different tack, and it's kind of amusing, but interesting at the same time when talking about rights and property rights and these kind of things. So coming from RT.com, Aussie vegan, this will be fun, Celia Cardin is considering further legal action after the Supreme Court of Western Australia rejected her complaints against her neighbor's barbecues in a truly barmy case of NIMBYism. Cardin claims that she couldn't enjoy a quiet suburban life in the comfort of her own back garden without being assaulted by the fumes from nearby carnivores cooking their nasty feasts. The backyard back-and-forth battle with her neighbor, I guess the name is Toan Vu, and his wife and children has reportedly been raging since August of 2017. Cardin's case seemingly went up in smoke earlier this year after her claims were rejected by a tribunal based on her lack of evidence. The Supreme Court of Western Australia subsequently turned her down in July. Ms. Cardin was given a fair opportunity to present her case, and the learned tribunal member conducted the proceedings fairly and appropriately, said the Supreme Court. Despite the ruling, Cardin has vowed to continue her fight. It's been devastating. It's been turmoil. It's been unrest. I haven't been able to sleep, Cardin said, claiming that the smell of cooking meat, poultry, fish, in addition to cigarette smoke and the noise of bouncing basketballs, have all destroyed her quality of life.
Sounds like she's living in the wrong neighborhood. She needs to go get herself a little yurt and settle up in the woods somewhere, buy herself a dozen acres, and, and hopefully the crickets and the tree frogs won't annoy her too much.
For his part, Vu claims that in order to keep the peace, he removed the barbecue and forbade his kids from playing basketball in the yard. The news sparked little sympathy from Cardin online, a neighborhood nightmare. Why can't people just leave people to live in peace? She should respect the people around her and her choices, said one social media user. If you want that much freedom, move to where there's no other people, suggested another commenter, just like you did, Jay. In keeping with the tradition, some jokers have set up the community barbecue for Cecilia Cardin event on Facebook, calling on the community to help her get some pork on her fork. and the event will be apparently operating a strict no vegans policy. So I guess the question that I have here is like, what level of expectation do you have in your backyard? So if your neighbor was operating a landfill or whatever in their backyard, they're obviously driving down their own property values. But
which is good, because it means your property taxes should be less. I think anybody who is of the mindset that they want their property to keep on increasing in value is either an ignoramus or some status that just doesn't, it just wants everybody else's properties to go up so they keep getting taxed more, in my opinion. But or a lot of people bought properties with the purpose of, it's an investment now, and they want it to appreciate in value so they can get more credit, or leverage it or buy a bigger one or something.
Because your dollar is losing value. That's why your house's price is going up.
What expectation does one have, though, as far as odors in the backyard? So in this case, we're talking about cigarette smoke and basketball noise and, the smell of the flesh of her woodland creatures, woodland friends, is being, wafting into her backyard. And it sounds like they live in a pretty suburban area. And I would say, oh, you got to be kidding. I want to have a barbecue and suddenly, the vegan next door is, giving me trouble. So I mean, I just don't know. Like, where does it start and end? It's about clearly there are some odors that can emanate from your backyard that would be considered by the community as a whole to be unacceptable, right?
I mean, what if I had pigs or goats or cows?
Right. And
this happens a lot of rural America, especially California, New York, Massachusetts. What had happened around me in Massachusetts, where I grew up, little town of Palmer, was we had a couple dairy farms, and one of them, the guy was sick of all the neighbors complaining. The dairy farm had been there literally since like 1864.
Right.
And, all the yuppies and cityites from, Springfield and Worcester and Boston moving in.
Yep. They keep going farther and farther out.
And
they want a little bit of the country life until they experience the country life.
And this farmer has some hard times. So in the 50s, he's got to, sell a pasture.
Yeah.
To a developer. It's a 20-acre pasture. They put, 35 houses in there. And everybody in that neighborhood gets really upset in the summertime when it rains.
Right.
And then it's warm. And then there's the smell of cow poop.
Yes.
And they freak out. This is, a lot of people I've seen all over the country. They have these big signs. Animals, they
make funny noises.
They fart.
They have sex outside.
Yeah, it's like that. The farm was here before you were. If you don't like it, don't buy a house here.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I feel. And I lived in a rural area for some time. Now I live in a more suburban setting. But, for some time I lived in a rural area. And, the guy would fly his plane over my house to land in the airport that was right next door. It's not like I'm freaking out or anything over this.
When I go cruise to a neighborhood, we went somewhere the other day. I can't remember the town, my wife and I. And we went for a little party with some friends. And it's a pool party, actually. And I says, oh, there's some freedom, honey. And I'm pointing to a yard. Just got 3 or 4 broke down cars in it. The grass isn't really cut. Some of the siding's falling off the house. And there was another yard 3 or 4 yards down. The guy had all kinds of dirt bikes and motorcycles and 4-wheelers all apart all over the driveway. I'm like, more freedom. Because if those guys can do that and nobody's harassing them about it, that's the community I want to live in, where people don't get harassed for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, there's oftentimes somebody in that same neighborhood who's got an immaculate yard with the little flowers in it and that kind of thing, and they've got all their problems with all their neighbors, and they're just a pain in the tush to deal with because they just cannot be convinced that, well, the way you live might be pretty and it might be your preference, but it isn't the way we necessarily do things out here.
And those are the kind of people who they literally beg government to come in and do code enforcement. Ernie Hancock talks about a guy who he builds a cabin years ago, buys a remote piece of property. He moved from down in the city of Phoenix, moved out to the country, and then there's a junkyard way down the road from him, and he's up on a hill. Well, the guy who owns the property between the junkyard and this other guy clears a bunch of trees for cattle and starts a little farming operation. And he don't like the smell of the cows or that he can see the guy's junkyard, over a half a mile or whatever. So he calls code enforcement out there. So code enforcement goes and looks. They're like, yeah, whatever. Then they go up to his house, which he never had any permits for. So they slam the dude who called the code enforcement on his neighbors. And then he comes asking like Ernie Hancock's libertarian friends for help. And they're like, oh, yeah, we'll help you deal with the town. And then they find out why. And they're like, nope, deal with them yourself. You call the cops. You got to deal with it. We ain't helping you.
Yeah.
And, but that's what should happen when you call the cops on your neighbor, as far as I'm concerned.
It certainly can happen.
Just go have a conversation with your neighbor.
Oh, yeah.
Well, in this case, it sounds like irreconcilable differences. I mean, you're dealing with a vegan, and
all the vegans I've met
I'd use the term carnivore, but I'll just go ahead and say normal person. Somebody who wants to barbecue in their backyard isn't unusual. Somebody whose kids want to play basketball in their backyard isn't unusual. I mean, and smoking isn't terribly unusual.
Pretty much every vegan I've gotten to know is unreasonable.
Well, if they're using the term vegan to describe themselves, chances are good they're not a vegetarian. They're not a person who believes in a whole food, plant-based diet. A vegan means that you have a moral stance, usually.
Yep.
The number, 855-450-3733. 855-450-FREE. The internet has used this as an opportunity to hate on vegans. I guess you can too. 855-450-3733 here on Free Talk Live.
Anarchadelphia is a conference dedicated to the principles of liberty, individual sovereignty, and freedom from coercion, located in Philadelphia, the cradle of liberty. Anarchadelphia seeks to shed light on issues such as geopolitics, blockchain economics, spiritual health and wellness, as well as exposing the Earth's sacred hidden knowledge, featuring Mark Passio, Max Egan, Derek Brose, Jeff Berwick, and many more this September 13th through 15th. For info and tickets, visit anarchadelphia.com.
Do you ever feel like you're in jail? Not in a real jail, but a virtual jail, because of your job, your stressful business, or maybe your current relationship, where you're not allowed to do what you really want to do? There's another way to live. I'm Caleb Jones, and my staff and I have taught hundreds of thousands of men how to create low-work, high-income, location-independent businesses and how to date women under your terms. Go to freelifeinfo.com to download 7 free books and podcasts so you can live a life like this too.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,547. Silver at $19.30. And Bitcoin is trading around $10,605. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at noscale.net. In the news, the United States military has effectively surrounded Venezuela ahead of a possible military intervention. There's a new report that the U.S. military has been deployed to the impoverished South American nation of Guyana, the first time in a decade. The country is located on South America's North Atlantic coast and borders Venezuela to the west. The 4-month-long deployment, led by the U.S. Air Force, is called New Horizons Humanitarian Outreach and is intended to serve as a stepping stone toward a prolonged relationship with the Guyana military forces. Activist Post reports the Air Force hopes relationships with the country can firmly develop amid the increasing influence of Russia and China in the region. The latest deployment is about 600 U.S. military service members. Their purpose, according to military.com, will be to construct community centers and a women's shelter. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. Here comes Skynet. Earlier this year, in May, it was reported by The Intercept that the EU had been working with member states to help roll out a system called RoBorder that would employ swarms of autonomous drones to patrol air, land, and sea for border violations. The specifics were laid out in a midterm review and progress report. The Intercept reported that the EU program might be violating the terms of funding due to references made to potential military applications, as well as other ethical concerns about the tech being used in the private sector and getting into the wrong hands. Nevertheless, it appears the United States has its own plans for drone swarms at its borders. Defense One reports the Customs and Border Protection Agency is getting ready to test drones that can provide situational awareness for agents working between ports of entry. With deforestation finally being recognized as a serious environmental issue internationally, efforts are underway across the world to help reverse the disastrous trend. The Mind Unleashed reports that officials in Ireland recently pledged to plant 22 million trees every year in the country over the next 20 years, with a target goal of 440 million trees by the time the campaign ends. The plan, which was announced in June, calls for 19,768 acres of new woodlands to be planted every year. A Department of Communications Climate Action and Environment spokeswoman said that many of the logistics of the operation will be handled by the country's Department of Agriculture. However, the success of the plan will depend on the cooperation of landholders throughout the country, who the government hopes will be eager to sell their land, or at the very least allow planting to take place on their property. The goal seems tangible. In fact, it was reported by the Scotsman that 22 million new trees were planted in the country last year. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
After years of weekly meetings with his psychologist, local man Chris Vaughn told reporters today he was excited to only have 2 sessions left before completely resolving all of his emotional issues and never having the need to return to another therapy session again.
When I started therapy, I knew if I could make it through exactly 120 50-minute sessions with Dr. Warner, then all of my issues with depression and crippling anxiety would be gone. Next week we're covering my parents. The week after that we're wrapping up my trust issues. and then I should be good to go.
According to Vaughn, it took 40 sessions alone to fully resolve his feelings of inadequacy and low self-esteem resulting from an unhappy childhood. Vaughn's therapist, Dr. Susan Warner, told Onion reporters that she's pleased with her patient's progress and relieved that his long-time emotional and cognitive issues are nearly solved for good.
I told him that getting healthy would take at least 100 hours of therapy, and now he'll never have to see me again. Thank God for that. That guy was a real piece of work.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live, and you are free to call in and talk live here on the airwaves. It's Mark with you.
Jay.
Michael.
And, you know, there's 8 billion people on the planet, and you're always going to have some weird story of what's going on. I probably shouldn't be surprised by this one, but coming from RT.com, an Australian vegan, and she's actually from Perth, so, I mean, even the Australians consider the people from Perth to be even weirder. Western Australia. And she's a vegan, and she has, it seems like she lives in the suburban area, and her neighbor does, you know, some terrible, terrible stuff. Her neighbor has barbecues, smokes cigarettes, and her neighbor's children play basketball. And the vegan has sued. Now, it doesn't look like her case got dismissed because of the merits of her case. It got dismissed because she couldn't put her, I don't know, couldn't come up with the life skills to kind of put the body of evidence together for the case.
Well, you need to prove injury.
Yeah, well, I think that to some extent, I kind of see where she's coming from. She says that, you know, smells are bothering her. And I can absolutely see in some kind of suburban setting how a neighbor could have something emanating from their backyard or their front yard or whatever yard, I don't care, that just stinks to high heaven.
I had that house in Bondsville, Palmer, Mass. That you came down to a few years ago. I had some neighbors, and they would be out there at night smoking cigarettes, and in the summertime I'd have the windows open.
Sure.
And it was annoying.
Yep.
So I said, hey guys, you know, what can I do to incentivize you to go on your back porch and smoke cigarettes? Because the way the house was set up,
instead of your front porch,
they go on a back porch. And they were like, something about the wife didn't like something on the back porch, so I actually helped them like kind of make like a wood patio thing.
Yep.
Like a few days later,
help them build a little deck out there.
We basically built it out of some like nice heavy duty pallets that her husband brought home.
Mm-hmm.
And we got along really good with those guys. And they would so their back porch was like their patio hangout, and they loved it. And this just the way it was. No smoke came into my house anymore.
Peaceful neighboring.
Yeah.
Nice.
It can be done.
It can be done. And, you know, I certainly applaud situations like that. I think that obviously courts should be your last refuge if you have some kind of problem. But at some point or another, sometimes people need somebody to step in and arbitrate, problems.
I wonder if the people that she sued, her neighbors, did a counterclaim.
No, it sounds like the neighbors have asked their kids not to play basketball in the backyard and are apparently smoking elsewhere. So, you know, to keep the peace, it says he removed the barbecue and forbade the kids from playing basketball in the yard. So I don't know what's happening with the smoking. Sorry. I was trying to do it from memory there. But, I mean, you know, this guy's done a lot to make this person happy. I think that it's kind of like some people you can't make happy at all.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time,
I got one of those neighbors right now.
You know, and I kind of feel that a person who uses vegan to describe themselves is probably going to be on that list of a person who's simply not going to be happy.
She's probably grouchy from the lack of meat.
It could be, right?
The adjustment. Obviously an unhappy person.
You know, our human brains need this fat that essentially comes from mammals, from what I understand, and fish to like function and operate correctly. And this is why a lot of the vegans that I did business with for years in the horse business, I tell them that they're BS crazy, bat-ass crazy. And the one lady goes, "Everybody says that to me." And she starts screaming at me. And I says, well, Is everybody wrong? And what I want, with the, like I said, vegans are usually, irrational. That the ones that I have met about a lot of things, because most of them are vegans, because they don't like the idea that there's factory farming. Well, I don't like that there's factory farming either. That's why I buy, my meat from a nice little farm up in Croydon, New Hampshire, Bardo Farm.
Right.
I won't buy it from Walmart.
You can get meat that has not been, processed through factory farms and things like that. That's certainly possible to do. Then it goes to the next step, which is, just animals shouldn't be eaten, or, the next step, animals shouldn't be killed. And then it goes on to being eaten. Because I've kind of wondered, what happens if you hit one with your car? Can I eat it then?
Sure.
If the animal just died, can I eat it?
Just look at cows. The species of cows that we have, the reason we even have those species of cows is because, man has been raising herds, maintaining herds, breeding them for years. And we've got all these hundreds of different species of cows that in most wildlife situations, unless they're like in massive herds like the American buffalo, they probably wouldn't hold up. In fact, if you took a herd of Holsteins and just turned them out in the wild, they wouldn't even have to be killed by predators. Winter would just kill them,
right?
For example, or horses.
Well, Holstein would have to be milked, right?
Yeah, the dairy cows. Yeah.
Right. She's gonna rupture within a day's time and probably die from that.
They'll die of agony from a mastitis infection. Within a week, probably.
Right. And that of course, the vegans complain about milk. And, the cows come to be milked. They're being milked voluntarily, best I can tell. So that's an interesting aspect. Of course, we, humans bred them to do that, but I'm not responsible for the actions of a human prior to me. I'm only responsible for my actions. So if a cow needs to be milked and I milk the cow, I'm doing the cow a favor. It's
the dairy goats. If we milked them twice a day at 8 in the morning and about 8 o'clock at night. And if you were 5 minutes late, they were screaming at you like they hadn't ate yet, and people like, "Oh, your goats are hungry, huh?" I'm like, "No, they want to be milked."
Yes,
come relieve the pressure.
Yep.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable. Another thing that I like to point out to if I have a vegan conversation, and I don't usually have them. I know Ian had some not too long ago. Some vegans called in, and you're certainly welcome. The number 855-450-3733. It's 855-450. And then free, as in Free Talk Live. You're welcome to call in. But one of the things I point out is that if we didn't kill things like rats, pigs, rabbits, deer, and basically you pick your R-type mammal, we would be wiped out. Because the deer, the rats, the porcupines, and all these, the woodchucks, these sorts of things, they're going to eat your vegetables.
Does the term vegan say these sorts of things, like we let rats live?
Right. Well, that's what it means. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So when you let the rats live, you're in trouble because they're a very successful species, right? And you do not want these guys, overpowering you. It's a real problem.
So we go into we're doing some shopping before the wedding last year, my wife and I. And she wants to get a certain type of makeup at this makeup place in the mall, Manchester. So I go in there, and there's this girl in there who's selling the makeup, who's, got a vegan tattoo. I don't know if she had something about vegan, but anyway, she was talking about my wife wanted some makeup that wasn't animal tested and wasn't made from what McDonald's didn't buy, essentially, from the major slaughterhouse, which is what most of your makeup's made from, all the renderings. And so she's like, so they use bat guano in some makeup.
Uh-huh.
I didn't realize this.
Poop. Yes.
Well, that's cool. And so the lady
they
goes,
use whale vomit in perfume too.
Oh, nice. So the lady, the saleswoman says, "Oh, this particular brand is not vegan because it has bat guano in it." So I came up with the idea: are plants not vegan if you grow them in cow manure or horse manure? because it's not considered vegan if it's, back when I was using it. So I like teasing the vegans, but that spinach right there was chicken poop was put in there for fertilizer. So it's not vegan spinach, I tell them.
Yeah, well, it is an issue. And, think about deer for a second. What kind of fence would you have to keep deer out of your cornfield?
About 12 foot.
A big one.
Right. And
then they'll get hung up in it.
And then the groundhogs and the porcupines are digging up underneath.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's just not possible. It's just not possible. It's basically anti-life, because if you don't kill off the vermin in some manner or another, then they're going to take over and eat the vegetables too.
It'll be overrun.
Your thoughts, 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. Could be wrong on this. Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at marketfreetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. Marketfreetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, marketfreetalklive.com.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynovite.
Dynovite is nutrition.
Pick up 2 bottles of Lico-Chops, get the 3rd bottle free.
New improved Lico-Chops with omega-3, omega-6, vitamin E.
And now, 6 extra direct-fed microbials.
Even better for the digestive tract and immune system.
Try Lico-Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet, at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet.
Anarchadelphia is a conference dedicated to the principles of liberty, individual sovereignty, and freedom from coercion, located in Philadelphia, the cradle of liberty. Anarchadelphia seeks to shed light on issues such as geopolitics, blockchain economics, spiritual health and wellness, as well as exposing the Earth's sacred hidden knowledge, featuring Mark Passio, Max Egan, Derek Brose, Jeff Berwick, and many more this September 13th through 15th. For info and tickets, visit anarchadelphia.com.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Is oral health important to you? If you don't like your own teeth, fresh breath, or kissing people, then by all means stop listening. Several years ago, I met Jessica Armand, founder and CEO of My Magic Mud, and I became passionate about the product that she created and never want to live without it. It's clinically proven to whiten teeth, but I find it does much more. They want you to love My Magic Mud as much as I do, so they're giving you a money-back guarantee plus 20% off. Go to mymagicmud.com and use coupon code FTL20 at checkout. mymagicmud.com, FTL20.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Call in, talk about whatever's on your mind. It's Mark with you.
Jay.
Michael.
The number's 855-450-3733. We're talking about a story here where a vegan in Australia has sued over the barbecues. They use the term barbecue. Let's call it a cookout. Barbecue. I'm from the South, and barbecue has sugar, is a sauce that has sugar in it and vinegar in it.
All sorts.
Yeah. And so you can call barbecue what you want, but
that sauce could be vegan, huh? Barbecue sauce?
Yeah, sure. Barbecue sauce could. Let me tell you how you can take Bitcoin in your business. You got to helpmetakebitcoin.com. They make it easy for you. This really is easy. I'm talking about if you have a Bitcoin wallet already, it won't take you 5 minutes to begin accepting cryptocurrency at your business. Helpmetakebitcoin.com. It's a point-of-sale cryptocurrency acceptance software. The sign-up is easy with no ID verification, no paperwork. You can easily accept Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Dash, Zcash, and more. It's helpmetakebitcoin.com. It's a great service, and I think you'll be happy with it. Helpmetakebitcoin.com. Now, I've got another story here about veganism, and I figured I'd just run them back to back because it seems like it's appropriate. This is another one from RT. Maybe they've got something against vegans over there at RT. But I think that people like to feel sanctimonious about vegans. I certainly do, because I think they're wrong. Right?
I believe the human brain has evolved because of eating animals.
I think that there's a pretty good argument for that, and I've certainly heard that
I have no
made.
proof. It's just a theory I've concocted.
Well, so it was, as I understand one of the prevailing theories is that it's a need versus ability situation, right? So the primate that was the hominid that was the predecessor to man had a big brain for what it was, needed more calories to keep the brain going. So it would find the carrion kills of predators and figured out how to use tools to crack open skulls. The skulls would still contain the brain tissue, which is fatty and nutritious. And then what they do is they'd go around finding kills, get what they could off of them, use their the opposable thumbs, whatever, eat the meat and eat these sorts of things, and beat the head open, get the brain tissue, and then they have some fat. Now they of course ate fruits and nuts and whatever they could find in the wild.
Grubs and all kinds of bugs, whatever they could find.
At whatever they could find, but then, as they got the calories, the brain continued to grow because this was their unique selling proposition as a species, right? That's what we are as a species. We're the smart ones. And, we don't have the claws, we don't have the teeth, we don't have the ability to run super fast and short distances. We can do a couple of things pretty well, and that is think and run for long distances. And that's about it. We're walkers as opposed, fast walkers and that kind of thing. We can chase prey down. The ones that run quickly, we can track them and keep chasing them until they just get exhausted and
on a
die.
Horse or in Florida on a swamp buggy with all your buddies.
Whatever it takes,
and
right?
a bunch of beer.
Well, there's not a lot of people that are still doing the old hunter-gatherer chase down prey until it dies of exhaustion these days on planet Earth, but they do exist. They're probably not getting filmed on YouTube. Anyway, going on with this article here, YouTubers being bullied for quitting veganism. Former vegan stars on social media, I used air quotes on that, stars. Everybody's a star these days. I'm a star. Ha. Social media complain that they've been harassed for daring to eat eggs and meat again. Perhaps they should have thought ahead when they were influencing millions into their restrictive and unbalanced diets. It looks like Giovanna Mendoza doesn't really take much to veganism, does she? That's the author here. You promised weight loss, acne-free skin, firmer buttocks tone, improved moods, benefits to the environment, and the moral glow of walking with the superior path. In fact, each of you proselytized not better diets, but entire life overhauls. You sold ads on your videos, diet books, retreats, and T-shirts. You took people in a spiritual journey, persuading them to spend hours in the kitchen hollowing out avocados and soaking lentils, and hours on the internet buying the best organic makeup of your personalized discount codes, and then you quit. What did you think was going to happen? Athlete Tim Sheaf shows his strength while cooking. This guy here up on his elbows doing a handstand, basically. Later confessed that he no longer had been able to train well due to his diet, vegan diet. A little wonder that each of you and your new videos is now peppered with comments calling them fakes and traitors and demands for refunds at a quicker rate than you can clean them up. I'm not heartless. I understand that your diet caused you to stop having periods or suffer from anemia or set your body into a perpetual state of menopause. I understand that you were driven to such animal madness by your diet that you saw some chickens run around a farm, bought their eggs from a farmer, and sucked them raw. I also appreciate that eggs were organic, as the hens were not just some supermarket thing, but like really free. But you are probably doing the right thing, and it's good that you've dropped this urine and kale-based diet. But you did not deal with this ethically. You did not care to speak about your worsening health in the months and years leading to this point. Instead, you continued to radiate that new age tinged Stepford Wives positivity, always talking about how colorful the food is and how relaxed you feel. And I do often, if you talk to vegans, they'll usually tell you how healthy they feel, right?
Well, I'm 40 years old. I have a lot of close friends that, they became vegetarian, they became vegan, and then they got weak, they got sick. The period is every 22 days or every 18 days, or it doesn't happen for a couple of months with some people. I have another friend, he is same age as me, did bodybuilding, went vegan, and he says that he chemically neutered himself, literally soy boyed himself as he refers to it, and he thinks he hurt himself. He thinks he's done irreparable damage with his veganism that he did for like 6 years, cranking a bunch of soy, and he wishes he never went down that road. I've seen so many people go be a full-blown vegan and then come out of it.
I can see, like, if you have a complaint with factory farms, believe me, I have a complaint with factory farms too.
They're all government subsidized, and that's why they exist.
And if you have a problem with factory farms, there are lots of choices that you can make that don't use factory farming. There's meats.
Just get on Craigslist. It's everywhere in New Hampshire. All milk, meat, all kinds of organic everything.
Right, eggs. There's fish out there. You can get the wild caught, whatever. I wonder about fish and fish farming. It seems like we've got to come up with some system for all the people on the planet to be able to consume seafood. But nonetheless, it's not factory farmed. The number 855-450-3733. 855-450-FREE, as in Free Talk Live.
Do you have a crypto wealth advisor or coach? If so, has your cryptocurrency advisor been investing in technology stocks for over 20 years? Have they left the corporate world and retired? Or are they still trying to make a weekly paycheck? Have they produced six-figure results for their customers in the past 30 days? And very importantly, are they a member of the Digital Currency Council? Seth Maniscalco is the founder of Crypto Wealth Coach and CryptoWealthCoach.com. Seth invested in his first Roth IRA at 19 years old while living abroad and has been investing in Wall Street and technology for over 20 years. advisors with experience in all the money markets. By comparison, so many of these so-called crypto gurus have barely been alive for 20 years. Seth has not only experienced personal success from his own investments in crypto, he has also helped his clients earn 6- and 7-figure incomes, including helping investors make over $750,000 in EOS in 90 days and 1,225% in only 5.5 months with Chainlink. Seth has help for the small do-it-yourself guy on up to crypto whales. Increase your wealth. Visit CryptoWealthCoach.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
There are basically two types of advertising: direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
There is no such thing as attention span, according to Jerry Seinfeld, who figures that people have an infinite attention span if you are entertaining them. Hey, he's kept us from channel surfing for several decades, and now he's making more millions as a Las Vegas headliner. With money and attention so scarce now, effective communication skills have never been more important, especially if you're looking for work. So choose every single word as though it was the last word the person you're speaking to will hear. Otherwise, it might be. Avoid redundancies such as added bonus, advance warning, end result, prior history, or personal belongings. And avoid cliches like the plague. Just kidding. For more tips, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live. You can call in, talk about whatever you want, but we've been talking vegans tonight here on Free Talk Live. And I think this is, it's the group that the internet loves to hate. And, I'm not saying that I don't think they deserve it a little bit. What's the joke? A CrossFitter, an atheist, and a vegan walk into a bar.
Tell me.
Oh, we didn't have any. There's really nothing else, but they just told us right away. Right? Like the idea is that you can't be a CrossFitter or an atheist or a vegan without telling people constantly. And I think that there's, to some extent, those groups have earned that bias, especially the vegans these days. They seem to be the new ones.
So I got a little correction. In the last segment, I was talking about a friend of mine who was a bodybuilder, and did the whole soy vegan thing.
Yeah.
He had done this for about 20 years, actually.
Okay.
And really believes that he's done damage to himself. He's totally suppressed his testosterone. He's like, he's got and he's got some other issues too. Like he's, a lot of anxiety and all kinds of things, but he's done a lot of research on trying to straighten himself out. And basically he really considers soy to be a lot of the culprit, but the fact that he just didn't eat any meat for 20 years.
Some people, think soy's terrible. Other people are huge believers in it. I'll eat it if they put it in front of me. That miso soup they serve at the Japanese restaurants, I like that.
That's good.
Yeah.
My wife doesn't want me consuming soy. She doesn't want it suppressing my testosterone.
There you go.
And she thinks that that leads to, I shouldn't say she thinks. She's done some research that later on in the man's life, that's testosterone is very important. So you don't want to suppress it at any point.
Yeah, it keeps you going.
Yeah.
Keep her happy.
Well,
yeah.
And you happy.
Yeah.
At this point, first and number one is if the wife has some kind of dietary thing that she thinks is best, you probably should go with it because, she's the one who's likely going to be making the meals. So, there you go. Whoever's making the meals probably gets to, to some extent say how the diet goes.
I would say that checks out for me.
Yeah. My wife's not going to make beans and weenies for me, or there's all kinds of stuff that she just finds distasteful. She's not going to make it, and whatever the situation may be. We'll get back to the vegan talk here in just a minute, but Tom in Hudson, New Hampshire is calling in. Tom, you're on Free Talk Live.
Okay, an Alabama prison inmate, Angela Yvonne Allen, is doing time for a stabbing murder down in Alabama, and her daughter paid a lawyer to represent the defendant on the appeal.
Okay.
And just one problem. The lawyer who was filing the appeal paper isn't a lawyer in Alabama. He's a lawyer in Florida. And so he filed the papers, and the court rejected it because it wasn't notarized and wasn't signed, and wasn't signed by an attorney licensed in Alabama.
I've gone down this road before.
So the daughter went and found a lawyer to take care of the situation, but guess what? It's too late now. The deadline for filing an appeal is passed. So, they were going to appeal based on ineffective assistance of counsel during the original
and then got
trial.
some more ineffective assistance of counsel.
Yeah, so, and now it's too late. Imagine being convicted of a murder, and you're appealing, saying that you didn't have effective assistance of counsel, and because lawyers bungle the case, dishonest, crooked, and you know what happens to the lawyer? The lawyer gets suspended by the state of Florida for 1 year.
Well, I'm sure that, whatever happens to him, it doesn't really matter to me. What happens to this other person? I think that there's also, one needs to look at the state on this too. So the state will keep somebody in jail for 2, 3, sometimes 4 years awaiting a trial. Now, this isn't a country where the right to a speedy trial is guaranteed by the highest law in the land.
On paper.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's a lie, but Americans, I don't know. We don't believe it. We don't believe that you get a speedy trial. We just go on acting like these liars and thieves that are supposed to represent our government out there. Well, we can't. What are we going to do? Just got to have liars and thieves.
Part of that.
What's that?
Let's say you can't make bail, and so you have to wait in jail for your trial, and then let's say your trial was supposed to be today in Florida or Georgia, and they're using this hurricane as an excuse. Granted, it is a rather good excuse for closing the courthouse. But then, let's say they open the courthouse back up on Friday, you say, okay, now let's go to trial. Oh, no.
That'll be 2 months.
The docket for Friday is already filled up. With the next available appointment let's see how many months it is that we can squeeze you in. 2 or 3 months later. They do stuff like this, and then they whine like crybabies when people go out and kill cops to punish the government.
Oh, God. Here we go again, Tom. Thanks for the call.
So to comment on this, first off, Tom brings up that Like something wasn't notarized and something wasn't signed.
Right.
So when I fought the town of Palmer on the property tax, all of the stuff that they filed into the court had no signature on it. Remember when you guys came down to my place and I showed you the judgment from tax court?
Yep.
And from land court? There was no signature on it.
Right.
So I appealed this at the federal level. So when there's rules of procedure in court. And when the actors that call themselves government don't follow these rules, it doesn't matter.
No, they just do whatever they want.
They have the guns.
So the feds just turned it back and said no problem?
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter. They don't need a signature. You don't have to have a seal from the court. Even though in the rules of procedure in Massachusetts, it explicitly states they do. They didn't want to hear nothing about it. And if you or I don't, dot an I or cross a T, same thing. And another thing he was talking about with these people awaiting trial for a few years, Mark Stevens' show, I was listening to his podcast the other day, which I guess his show is not on LRN on Saturdays anymore because Mark Stevens' father had gotten sick or passed away or something, and so he's kind of been a little inconsistent. But actually, this afternoon, his show was on in the afternoon on the LRN network, and he was talking about how there was this guy who sat in a jail cell for something like 24 and a half months, and he couldn't do bail. He didn't really have anyone to supply him bail.
And a lot of times they don't give bail.
And a friend of a friend's kind of helped him out a little bit. And when it came to his court date, they did discovery, and the prosecution didn't have any evidence whatsoever that this alleged crime was committed. There was just no evidence of this. So they dismissed the case after the third hearing. But this dude sat in a jail cell for over 2 years.
Yeah.
And now this is one of the things I want to see candidates run for, especially in New Hampshire. One of the platforms should be for the Libertarians is to strip judges and prosecutors of their immunity, because this is malicious prosecution. This happens every single day in America.
Yes, it does.
Every single courtroom. And quite simply, just like my thing is and Mark Stevens' thing is, provide the evidence that your Constitution and your code apply to me.
Right.
And
and I think something that's really important to point out here is that the state drags its feet for 24 months and dismisses a case, but if they find you guilty after 3 years, they give you 60 days to for an appeal. It varies from jurisdiction to jurisdiction, but that's not an entirely inaccurate statement. Yep. Characterization. They give you 60 days. Their rules are not your rules. They do what they want.
Right.
They're tyrants, despots, parasites.
Prosecutors and judges need to be stripped of their immunity, because there is no incentive for them to be good actors. And I believe 90% of cases that are prosecuted, there is no evidence that the code violation even applies.
855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE here on Free Talk Live. More vegan talk.
Heart disease is on the rise. Clogged arteries, high blood pressure, and high cholesterol levels may not be fully detected by you, but the symptoms are there. Loss of energy, blood sugar spikes and drops, poor circulation, and irregular heartbeat are just a few of these that can alert you that something is wrong. Hear how Heart and Body Extract is making a difference in thousands of people's lives across America.
My blood pressure has normalized. My diabetes has totally improved.
Everyone is telling me now how much healthier I look, and I'm telling everyone how much healthier I feel. I recommend Heart and Body Extract to everyone.
Anybody over 40 in the North American continent should be using this product as a preventative to keep their cardiovascular system healthy.
Order your 2-month supply today by calling 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. Or order online, hbextract.com. Heart and Body Extract, 866-295-5305 or hbextract.com.
When you have a pain in the neck, a real pain in the neck, back, shoulder, or legs, you now have 2 convenient choices to get fast relief without taking another pill. Because now, Sunny Bay heating wraps and pillows are available at both Amazon and Walmart. Yes. See Sunny Bay's 4.5 to 5-star customer reviews on Amazon.com or Walmart.com. Our microwavable heat wraps, heatable neck pillows, and extra large body wraps are designed better for perfect support where and when you need it. Even while driving, Sunny Bay wraps will not burn and stay balanced to provide soothing hot or cold therapy to help treat temporary or chronic pain. And the best part, Sunny Bay quality products start at under $20. Join thousands of happy customers and see why Sunny Bay products have a lifetime 100% positive rating on both Amazon and Etsy. It's easy. Click Amazon or Walmart and search today for Sunny Bay.
Free Talk Live.
Wish you would have answered the question as to what's the age range. I mean, if two 10-year-old boys are playing doctor with each other, and he was specific that he said it was okay for a boy and a girl to play doctor, which did happen to me when I was that age, but I was maybe 2.5, 3 years older than that girl. Am I a molester? She was the one trying to take my pants off. Should she go to jail?
You know, people like Lou, they get all upset over things like this when they're not even apprised of the facts. And you try to tell them the facts, and they just, since it doesn't fit with their worldview,
Right.
it doesn't fit with their core belief system, it can't be possibly true that I could have possibly have known what I was doing at that
Children
age.
who are engaged in sex with somebody who is older are being manipulated. That's one of them. And, you know, sometimes sometimes that's true.
Absolutely. There's
and
no
sometimes
doubt.
it's not.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. The number's 855-450-3733. We're talking about, a few different issues with veganism. It's Mark with you.
Jay.
Michael.
Yeah, this article here from RT.com is talking about vegan influencers, which the author here, Igor, boy, I want to mess this last name up, Orgododev, I don't know, is not very happy with these vegan influencers, many of them of whom have stopped being vegans because they're noticing health problems. Now, you can determine that those health problems are related to veganism. I don't know. I have heard people say great things about being vegans. I just don't have the constitution to try it. I just don't. I cannot give up meat. Sorry. So I'm not going to be too sanctimonious about it all. But when it comes to these vegan influencers who, in some cases, have given up meat and then don't even tell their audience for a while, and then they get caught eating some fish or something, and then the audience begins to go crazy, because a picture has been taken of an influencer with a hamburger or whatever.
They feel like the preacher at the mega church that gets caught with a prostitute.
Sure.
Or a prostitute, or a little boy prostitute, or a young child, or something.
There are some correlations here because this is a closely held faith-based belief, and when the leader, the person who's benefiting financially, as a matter of fact, in a lot of cases, just goes ahead and turns the other direction, they're really hated by both sides at that point.
Yeah.
Because,
have a little compassion for the backslider.
Well, if you try veganism and then decide it's not for you, I can, totally feel that way for you. However, if you try veganism, become an influencer, and then especially if you decide that you're going to continue to pretend to be vegan and benefit from all your past videos or whatever it is that you're doing, because basically, what do you think, Michael? If somebody becomes, goes from vegan to carnivore or omnivore or whatever they are, should they take down all their past videos?
No. Should keep it as like a chronicle of their life.
Well,
steps they're making.
But I mean, videos in many cases. I just watched a video last night that was 4 years old on how to fix something that I had, and it was just as useful for me today as the day they made it 4 years ago. And presumably they got a small pittance of a for me watching it, and that's what's happening in some cases with these people who are out there. I'm a vegan, and then they're not anymore. To some extent, it's some disingenuousness, I kind of feel like.
Yeah, that happens on the internet.
Yeah, it sure does. And
let the marketplace decide.
Exactly.
They'll just lose followers, right? If the people get disenfranchised with them. And the problem is they know how extreme. That's my biggest problem with vegans in general is how extreme they get. Mm-hmm. Some of these people throw absolute 3-year-old hissy fits, because, they can see the genitalia of a horse from the road. This is something that actually happened in Cape Cod years ago. This lady wanted the horses to wear diapers. She wanted it to be a law. Actually petitioned the town council and everything with it. Of course, they laughed at her, but she freaked out. And she was one of these vegan people that also. And but the thing is the market will decide. And if you're going to be full of BS and you're going to lie about things, and people just quit listening to you.
I think they will at some point or another. But what I'm saying is that they deal with sort of heat from both sides. And one of the things I would say to somebody who decided that it's they're best off eating meat is that all your old videos that go out there and say that it's better to just be on a vegan diet, I'd say you're still harming people with those videos if you...
because the information you have now discovered is wrong. It'd be like a scientist saying, oh yes, put this solution of these chemicals on your skin. And well, he does this for 2 years and he gets skin cancer.
Right.
And then not going back and, updating the videos and at least saying, well, this caused cancer or whatever,
Something. So I'm of the opinion that they should go back, and they're getting heat from both sides, and I think they deserve it. If you've got vegan, obviously, if you portray yourself as a vegan for some years and that you're given recipes and talking about how awesome it is and you get these followers and they're sending you money and through the Patreon and they're watching your videos or whatever they're doing, and then
and there's a point you become a shiller.
Well,
right?
Yeah. I think it's not a problem if you're a shill for something you believe in, right? Shill kind of indicates it's not something you necessily believe in. So if you're promoting something you believe in, that's cool.
And then you don't believe in it anymore, or you come across evidence that the belief is wrong.
I've changed my mind on lots of issues.
Then you become a shiller if you keep on pushing this thing for profit, is the way I understand the word shill.
And I think that's an interesting point. You've actually helped me think of something newly, is that Free Talk Live has every one of its episodes available for like 18 years going back at archives.freetalklive.com. Free. Other radio programs simply will not do this for you, but Free Talk Live does. I think the NPR shows will do it too. But Free Talk Live makes it available to you for free. And my opinions have absolutely changed on topics, from year to year. Yep. There's some topics and
you tell us when your opinions change.
Right.
I've heard you say, I thought differently about this at one time.
And now I don't, unlike YouTube, we don't sort of serve up old episodes to people. You'd have to go hunting for them. And so when you go hunting for the episodes at archives.freetalklive.com, you have to put in the year, you have to put in the month, and then it'll serve up all the episodes in that month, either 28 of them to 31 of them, depending on the month.
So have you redacted any of them?
No, I wouldn't do that because, I feel like, well, it's history, right? Like, it's just what you had said previously.
And it would be a pain in the butt.
And, well, yeah, it's simply not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. But I mean, I guess my defense on that would be is that when we serve up episodes to people, we're serving the newest episode. We're not sending some old episode as though it's the new one. And so therefore, if you want my reasoning on a topic as it exists today, then you're going to have to listen to today's show. If you want my reasoning on a topic as it existed 12 years ago, then by all means go back there and listen to it. But it's not like they're going to stumble across that 12-year-old episode.
I do download some of the really old Free Talk Live and listen to it like when I'm out running the chainsaw or something with my earplugs, earphones in. Just because there's no cell phone service, and I just, I think it's fun to listen to, you guys talking, dozen years ago.
Yeah, it's completely different.
Vegan pee. That's what I want to talk about.
Oh, God.
that was in this article where it just like randomly mentioned Tim has dropped his urine and kale-based diet. Urine? Why are we drinking our pee?
Okay. Well, I hope you've done some research on this. I think you have.
Goats do it all the time.
But
I am not a goat.
Goats drink their own pee.
I never researched drinking my pee until 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, this is done, and it is it's a thing. I wouldn't call it a good thing, but people do it.
I bet there's a club for pee drinkers.
I think
for
you
vegan
need to,
pee drinkers. Let's clarify.
Yeah, I think you need to do a lot of research on this kind of thing before you get into it. But it is absolutely. I think it came from the Ayurvedic diets, but I may be wrong on that.
Well, I know if you cut your leg open, peas, for example,
it's sterile, right?
It's sterile, so you cut your. I watch a guy do this. He cuts his leg open. We're out spreading cow manure. It's not a good place to have your leg cut open.
No, that sounds bad.
And
around manure.
And he was a Mexican guy, and he comes up to me. He's like, "You got to pee?" I'm like, "No." He goes to the next guy. "You got to pee? Pee on me." And he said it in Spanish to the other guy, but and then he wrapped a hanky around it and just kept on working.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Well, that's just goes to show how people will work hard. I have met people who do this. I have heard people advocate for it. They'll make every claim in the book to justify it. I have obviously no personal experience. There's plenty of research one can do on the internet regarding it. I would say that before you take on any kind of very questionable activity like this, you do your research. I don't think it sounds very bad.
I would want them to show me.
Yeah.
You drink your pee? Prove it.
Right. Well, that's the first step, right? You gotta show me that you can survive this. But I don't think it's something that you couldn't survive. It's a waste material. It seems like your body's getting rid of it for a reason, but I think it's just a bad idea.
Show me it's great.
Yeah.
Nitrogen. It's what plants want. I swear.
8. Well, yeah, right. Put it on your tomato plants, right?
Yeah.
855-450-3733. Why waste it any other way? Put it on the plants. 855-450-FREE, as in Free Talk Live.
Balance of Nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
When I hear you guys' commercials, almost everything that happens with a lot of these people, like your skin and everything, I mean, that's true. And with me, well, I'm 60. I had arthritis in my hands and my elbows from doing carpet, all the yanking and pulling up. You don't notice it when it first happens, but as time goes, boy, this used to hurt me, and it doesn't hurt anymore. You know what I mean? You don't even think about it. It's just gone. It's just all these little things that disappear.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And after your 3rd month, we will ship to you at no charge an additional set of fruits and veggies. This will be a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FREETALKLIVE.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in Liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealestate.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,547. Silver at $19.30. And Bitcoin is trading around $10,605. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, the United States military has effectively surrounded Venezuela ahead of a possible military intervention. There's a new report that the U.S. military has been deployed to the impoverished South American nation of Guyana, the first time in a decade. The country is located on South America's North Atlantic coast and borders Venezuela to the west. The 4-month-long deployment, led by the U.S. Air Force, is called New Horizons Humanitarian Outreach and is intended to serve as a stepping stone toward a prolonged relationship with the Guyana military forces. Activist Post reports the Air Force hopes relationships with the country can firmly develop amid the increasing influence of Russia and China in the region. The latest deployment is about 600 U.S. military service members. Their purpose, according to military.com, will be to construct community centers and a women's shelter. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality